Hi, everybody. Welcome to our year in review live stream. I'm Ralina Joseph. I direct the Center for Communication, Difference, and Equity, and I'm a professor in the communication department. And I am here with Josh Griffin. Hey, Josh. Going to get unmuted here. So we are excited to be able to share some of our really busy year with you this year. We invited in new graduate students, especially Julie Feng, who you're going to meet in just a minute, who was one of our research assistants this year, and Jennifer Zhang. We also invited in a new assistant professor, Professor Tamika Townsell, and we'll hear a little bit about her work in a minute. And we had a ton of different types of programming. So we're going to spend some time today showing you some of our programming and learning a bit more about the CCDE for those of you all who don't know a lot about us. So I'm going to hand it over to Josh.
Tonight I'm going to the Mariners game, like 7, so that should be fun. Okay.
Josh will be back in just a minute here to tell us a little bit about one of our wonderful projects.
The White Sox. Yeah. Yeah, it's the White Sox, Chicago.
All right. Josh is back here.
Sorry about that, everybody. Having a little technical issues on my end with my laptop. But here I am today. It's great to see everybody. My name is Josh Griffin. I've been with the center since 2021. And just really excited to be able to be in community with you all and talk about our accomplishments. I wanted to spend some time to talk to you about our UW Pandemics Project, which has been going on since the fall of this past year. Since the fall until now, we've had the opportunity to engage with various peoples from across the tri-campus community, be that UW Tacoma, UW Seattle, and UW Bothell. We've been able to engage with participants, for students, faculty, deans, to be able to allow them to record their conversations of how they know the pandemic. And so on November 23rd, we'll be able to have a community event that will bring people together and talk about, be able to listen and be in community with us. And if I miss anything, I'll let you jump in. Yeah.
Perfect. And this is a wonderful continuation of our Interrupting Privilege projects. And so many of you all know that when the pandemic hit and when COVID-19 hit in 2020, we pivoted online, and we've been working really in an online way and recording important conversations around a variety of different topics with a number of different partners, such as with this Pandemics project. Another of our projects this year was around the topic of Black capitalism. And we continue to use our methodology, our community engaged participatory methodology, and our goal is creating this really beautiful multimodal scholarship, including this database of audio clips that we're going to hear about in just a minute here. So in our Interrupting Privilege radical listening conversations, we bring together folks and we have a series of prompts, but we really kind of encourage them to go in the directions they want to go. And so the conversation that we are about to listen to here as a demonstration of what we talked about in the Black Capitalism Project is a conversation between two Black business owners who, despite being business owners who traffic in capitalism, also feel conflicted about the system in which they're participating. So we can go ahead and take a listen to that, please.
even
All right, so
valuable to
we're
participate in a system that was already made for, for the benefit of a certain group of people, especially off the backs of our people. So
Right.
does are we just adding to what was already set up for us to play into anyway? Or are we?
I mean, that's kind of what I take from it, because capitalism itself is for a certain group of people to benefit, the private owners and those who, are running the show.
Yeah.
There's a division that happens out of that on its own.
I mean, honestly, at least for me, when I think about it, I'm like, where does this come from? Where does this idea come from? Where does this structure come from? Who created it? And it wasn't created for us or by us or to benefit us. So yeah, I don't know. Sometimes for me, I'm just like, it's such a complicated thing, right? Being born in a country that was set up in a particular way for, to have things be, just to have things be the way they are on purpose. It wasn't a mistake, and I think that it's then hard to see myself functioning inside of that. So in a way, I'm thankful that I'm a, business owner, Black woman business owner, and I'm honored to hold that space. But then the other way, I'm just like,
You still live here.
I still live here, but also like our people built colonies. Like, what are we talking about? Like, we riches and, we kings and queens, like we don't need a system to tell us that we're valuable or to tell us that we have, something to offer. And like you said, this system just bases it on money, but our systems were based on, like you had mentioned too, knowledge, but also craft and art and ability and, history and lineage, the things that actually feel more valuable than just like, money, because that stuff can fade away. But if you can do something tangible with your hands, or how to, grow food, or how to build a house, like that's gonna be way more tangible than, this system. And that's why I feel like it's a setup. Is it even valuable to participate?
So thank you so much for sharing that. That was a conversation between Cyrita, who is the owner of Black Origin Plants, and Alexandria Felino, who is the owner of the Soul Collective Salon. And we want to give an especially big shout out to Alex for hosting us for the listening session where we shared out some of these clips. And we're going to see a little a preview of that in just a moment here. This was not the only Interrupting Privilege project that we had and that we hosted this year. Graduate student Jazz Moultrie and I brought together a group of Black media studies luminaries, as we call them, for a series of conversations on what did social justice look like to them. So in conversation with each other were Jane Rhodes and Herman Gray, Robin Meads Coleman and Beretta Smith Shomade, E. Patrick Johnson and John Jackson, and Kishana Gray and Andre Brock. And so we will soon have those conversations all up on our website so that you all can take a listen to those. And then you'll be also able to read our chapter on this. So Jazz and I also wrote a piece that will be featured in the Oxford International Handbook on Media and Social Justice that's forthcoming and edited by Shrivi Ramasubramaniam and Tayo Banjo. And we'll be sharing out some of these clips also at the upcoming American Studies Association annual conference in Montreal in November. So I'm going to hand it over to Julie, who's going to also talk about what happened in the fall with her own beginnings at the CCDE, and also sharing a bit about our graduate students.
Thank you, Dr. Joseph. I will share a little bit about the Communication and Difference Research Group, which is also housed in the CCDE. And it's a collaboration of faculty and grad students. We host a monthly retreat that is a super supportive and generative space where we can share challenges and encouragement with each other, exchange wisdom and ideas, and even like troubleshoot, brainstorm stuff together. And I think really importantly, celebrate each other's wins. And there are a lot of wins. This year, we had some specific retreats on topics of professional development that were of particular interest to our students, on things like academic publication and writing advice. And we continue to spend a lot of valuable time just building community together, which I think is like a really essential resource for all of us.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Julie. I'm going to hand it over to Josh, who is going to show us a little bit of our Black capitalism session. So we listened to a clip of one of the recorded dialogues that we recorded in the fall. And then in the winter, we brought together community at Alexandria Felino's beautiful Soul Collective Salon to engage in conversation and to hear and showcase some of the incredible words and see some of the relationships that were featured in these conversations.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, Josh.
Okay. Sorry.
Having some tech issues.
Yeah. It sounds echoey on my end. I do apologize. I'm going to go ahead and show you this beautiful video that really encapsulates the interrupting privilege experience and the listening party. One thing I want to speak to is that this venue that we had it at, it was intentional. It was on 23rd and Union, which was very much historically a Black community. And if you aren't from Seattle now, it looks very different. But it was beautiful to be able to be in community on March 2nd with minoritized individuals to be able to come together and hear about Black capitalism. And so now I'm going to stop talking and show you all this beautiful video that was made by Vic.
What comes to mind when I hear the phrase Black capitalism?
You can do something tangible with your hands, or you know how to, grow food, or you know how to build a house. Like that's gonna be way more tangible than, the system.
Success stories, be they large or small, allow people to dream. And that's, I think, what our community needs, especially the children, is yes, I can.
We do need to understand and learn that there are other systems out there that benefit a community where people are coming together and offering their different services, talents, and gifts, and and it's not based on how much they can pay, because everybody deserves it, right? This system just bases it on money, but
All right, it looks like our sound might have gone out for the video, but that, if you want to see it in its entirety, you can check out the YouTube channel and see the whole video there. And we want to thank Vic, who made that incredible video for us and really captured the essence of the evening and the moments of really kind of creating a community that felt new and fresh, and even as we welcomed in new people into the space, that felt like we were really kind of changing the space, which is the goal of our Interrupting Privilege project. And as a matter of fact, we're going to be able to continue to do this in partnership with the Northwest African American Museum, who has been our partner for years. And so we have been dreaming about the possibilities of hosting an exhibit there that would showcase the learnings from Interrupting Privilege, that would allow people to listen to some of these conversations. And so that's indeed what we're doing. We are going to be launching this new exhibit, partnering with the University of Washington's museology program. And so we'll have an intern from museology joining one of our incoming graduate students who will work as a research assistant. And we'll hear a little bit more about that, but that will be something to look forward to for launching on MLK Day of 2024. So I'm going to hand it over now to Professor Carmen Gonzalez, who's going to tell you a little bit about the launch of our HEAL project and all of the incredible things that she and her team are doing there.
All right, I think you can hear me now. Our audio is being a little funny. So I'm very excited to be here today to talk about this new initiative that has really been in the works for quite a while, for the last few years. And we were busy addressing the impact of the COVID pandemic. So that kind of shifted our priorities around a bit. But we're so excited to finally launch our Health Equity Action Lab, which is a space to bring folks together who do community engaged research to address health equity, particularly racial health disparities, and to really provide support for community and academic partnerships to be better responsive to the needs of the communities that we work with. And so we want this to be a space to highlight all of the different work that we do to address the intersections of systemic racism and health and well-being, and to come up with solutions collectively with community organizations, community leaders, and families. So there's much more to come for the Health Equity Action Lab, but we're excited to showcase our virtual space, which is in the works. And thanks to our amazing graduate research assistant, Laura Irwin, who is leading the effort in building this virtual space for us. So this is officially the Health Equity Action Lab site, and we are building it out this summer. We have a couple of different components so far. One of those is more of a presence in community events, which we are excited that we can return to being in community in person. This is an example of a mental health arts festival that we were able to engage with and provide support for the event in Snohomish County. And then we've launched a series of roundtable conversations that we really hope for them to be more accessible and to live on beyond the initial kind of event. So we're hosting them live and then posting them to our site, and they live on our center YouTube channel as well. We've had our inaugural conversation on doing engaged research in health equity and thinking about some of those challenges, but also opportunities for our students and for researchers to find ways to co-create knowledge with folks outside of the university, but also to take care of ourselves in that process. We had a second roundtable conversation this spring quarter where we focused on Black women's health and kind of more nuanced meanings of what it means to be an engaged scholar with Dr. Tamika Townsell and Dr. Jessica Mormon. So we're excited to host more of these conversations on multiple topics. We will also highlight projects on our site. The center has been doing work on wellness and health equity in particular, really since its inception, right? Addressing the impact of racism and systemic inequality on well-being since we started. So we're excited to post more of our projects here and have it be a space where we can bridge relationships between researchers and community folks who might not know where to start in thinking about accessing the resources that are available in academic spaces. So eventually this will be a bit more interactive. We'll add some more content, and we're excited to host more roundtable conversations in the next school year. So stay tuned. A lot more to come from the CCDE Health Equity Action Lab. And we will turn to listening to one of our undergraduate students. And we're so excited to have her here with us today.
Yeah. Can you all hear me? We're good. Awesome. So I had the great opportunity to introduce Jacqueline to you all, an amazing rising senior, JPIC student, doing great work here at the center. And it's been an honor to be able to work with you this past year, Jacqueline. So I'm going to allow you tell our audience about the new student group that you created and kind of the rationale and reason behind it. So the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. My name is Jacqueline Jimenez Romero, and I am a rising senior at UW. I'm double majoring in journalism and public interest communication and law societies and justice. And I am the founder for the new undergraduate group for underrepresented students in either communication, journalism, or just anyone who has any interest in those fields. And community is about creating that space for underrepresented students to come together. So our mission is to create a lively, joyful, supportive community for underrepresented students in the department. And our goals are to increase pathways of success to underrepresented students through career development and exploration, networking opportunities, guest speakers, panels, financial literacy, among so many other things. And our second goal is to really create a safe and welcoming environment to really increase belonging in the communication department. And so some of our accomplishments that we've had for this year is that we have 6 really passionate board members for the upcoming year. We've held consecutive weekly meetings this quarter. And we also launched our social media account on Instagram. You can follow us at UW Community. And then this was just a fun one. We had several spontaneous karaoke events, and I'll get more into that a little bit later as well. But in terms of the inspiration behind creating community, it really came from coming into my first journalism class at the communications department and kind of feeling a little bit of disappointment from seeing the lack of students who looked like me and not really seeing that representation in the classroom. And so for me, as a first generation Latina, it's incredibly important for me to be surrounded by other people who share similar experiences. And I personally believe that journalists and any type of communicators of color just really bring in a wealth of knowledge and unique perspectives just because of our lived realities. And so I really wanted to find a space that could really support that. And after searching and being unable to find one, I eventually found my way to the CCDE. And I proposed the creation of what is now known as community. And my main goal really with community is to really create a sense of belonging, to grow future leaders, and to provide professional development opportunities, to really equip students with the tools that they need for success, not only at UW, but beyond UW as well. And I also think that the pandemic really reinforced the idea of creating a supportive community and being surrounded by people who really uplift and support you in every aspect. And I also believe that diversity and equity isn't just about, ticking boxes. It's really about breaking down barriers and opening doors and really fostering a community where underrepresented students can thrive. And so for me and the other students in our club, community has really become that safe space. And we've shared lots of moments of laughter and joy and happiness. And that's where the karaoke sessions come into play. If you've ever been in the communications department on a Friday afternoon, you might be able to hear us because we have loud music just taking up the entire space. And you can go at the CCDE and then go to the bathroom and you can hear us just being there, taking up space. And we've also had several late night study sessions where we've just stayed at the CCDE and just crammed in our finals and worked really hard on our academics. And for me, community has really become something really special to me, and I'm super grateful to be a part of it. And while we've only been active for 1 quarter, we've really created that passion for students to really build that community in the communication department. And so for next year, we're really hoping to expand our membership and have more students join us, and also continue fulfilling our mission of really bringing in joy and creating a supportive community for students in the communication department. So yeah, that's a little bit about what community is about.
Thank you. That was great to hear that, and looking forward to all that you do next year. And then, again, someone like attest to those Friday nights or Friday afternoons, I should say. It's been very joyful to hear you all just claim a space and to be intentional about that and to see the work that you put in to create. I'm excited to see what's to come and what it looks like long term. So we're gonna go ahead and pass it on to Julie, who will talk about our graduate students' accomplishments this year. So you, Julie.
Thanks, Josh. So we want to highlight all of the amazing accomplishments that my classmates have reached this year. I also want to just give them a shout out because I feel like as a first year PhD student this year, as a first generation student of color, these folks have been my lifeline, and the community that we've built through the CCDE has been such an essential thing for me. I don't think I would have chosen academia as a career path if it wasn't for the existence of spaces like the CCDE. So as we're celebrating each other, I think that's really at the foundation of everything. But yeah, let's highlight these beautiful people. The CCDE students this year, and these are just a few of the many accomplishments. We do not have the space or time to list all of them because, so we just want to highlight some of the conference presentations and invited talks that people have done throughout the year. Also, special shout out to Lando, to Laura, and to Jazz for all passing their qualifying exams this year and all becoming PhD candidates. You are all shining stars and can't wait to see what's next for you. We also have tons of collaborations, not just solo publications and presentations. So that shows the nature of how intertwined our work is. And folks who've won awards, folks who have won big things, including jobs and fellowships. So congrats, Michelle. Congrats, Jenny, for all your publications, presentations, and awards as well. And shout out to folks who were not listed here, not because they didn't accomplish anything, because they definitely did, but again, for space and time. But I am just so excited to continue to cheer on these amazing folks and see what's next for all of us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Julie. It's so wonderful to hear Jacqueline sharing the undergraduate work that's happening and all the things that Jacqueline and team are doing to really kind of to change their own experience and how we can help support them. Oftentimes we had another iteration of this undergraduate group years ago that died with the pandemic. And that group, which was called the students at that time called it the Minority Leaders of Communication, really fostered not just a feeling of community, but also a pathway to undergraduate honors theses. And a number of those students have gone on to graduate school, and even the oldest of them are now in academia themselves. So these types of clubs are really interventions into the field itself. So we want to just briefly share some of the wonderful highlight from our faculty members here. Dr. Carmen Gonzalez, who you saw here, who launched this incredible HEAL project, has also been, and we ask people just to share one thing, because as Julie said, our graduate students are so productive, and so are our faculty. So Dr. Gonzalez has published research on digital interventions for postpartum women. This work has been funded by the National Institutes of Mental Health. And this is just one of the wonderful things that Dr. Gonzalez has done. We also have Professor Andrea Otanez. Each of our associate directors, these are our associate directors in the CCDE, and each of them take on different roles. Professor Otanez has been working on our communications, strategies, and plans. We are going to be launching a new website soon, and Professor Otanez had all of the inspiration for that, which we'll be able to hopefully share out in the fall. She very excitingly was promoted to teaching professor, which is the highest rank of our teaching faculty. And as she shares here, this is based on more than 10 years of teaching and service for the university. She has been a leader nationwide in what we call JPIC, journalism and public interest communication. And as a matter of fact, is flying back right now after having been at a national gathering in Texas around JPIC. We were very pleased to welcome in our newest faculty member, Assistant Professor Tamika Townsell. And her enormous accomplishment this year was publishing her first book, Branded Black Womanhood, Media Citizenship from Black Power to Black Girl Magic. Dr. Townsell had this book reviewed in popular as well as scholarly outlets. She's been going around the country sharing out lessons from the book. And we're just so thrilled that she is here with us. She also has jumped into a service role as well and has been mentoring undergraduate students with workshops. And we'll continue to see some more of those in the upcoming academic year. And we have Professor Anis Rahman, who has been also very productive this year. And one of his publications of a number that came out this year is on South Asia as a contested terrain for cultural imperialism. That will be coming out in this edited collection, or this already come out in this edited collection on global media dialogue. So that's something that you can also check out. So I'm going to hand the mic back over to Josh as we think about what else is coming up for us.
Yeah. So on the horizon, well, I want to back up. This spring, I took the time to finally launch a hiking program, I should say. And this program is actually rooted in a study abroad experience I had with Professor Joseph in Barbados, all about rupturing the narrative. And so for me, this hiking program that I'm looking to build out is about rupturing the narrative, who has access to space. Historically, growing up as a basketball player, nature wasn't fun. I wasn't one to want to go camp or be outside, but it's really ever since my Peace Corps experience coming back home and healing through nature that I realized the importance of being able to to breathe deeply, to remove myself from the city, and to hear a river flow, to watch the sunrise from the top of a mountain. And there's been a great peace enjoying that. And so taking the time this summer to invite out our community within the CCDE, but then also the greater community in the future, inshallah, to be able to come and experience and to claim this space, which is nature. Even if you're not like see yourself represented, but to know in time you can be, and then to know that as you go forward, you can claim whatever space you want. And that all starts with being able to step into nature, onto the trail, and then being able to go forward and to choose whatever trails you go next or walk in life. And so our next hike will be Fufu Point, which is in Issaquah on June 28th at 12 p.m. Parking's a little tight there, so get there early. Hope to see you out there. Earlier, I spoke to the pandemic project that we've been working on this past academic year. We've had over 23 conversations with 46 participants from across the UW campus, as I was speaking to. On November 7th, we'll be having our radical listening session, which will be radical, right? We're going to be remembering and honoring and hearing stories of the pandemic. So we encourage you to come if you're able to. If not, we'll absolutely be live streamed and we'll send out further information. But please mark your calendar. This is going to be an important event. I don't think personally I've taken enough time to sit and think about what the pandemic's meant to me, especially where I was and how I was involved in the various dual pandemics. So mark your calendar. Those are a few things that are coming up. I'm gonna go ahead and bring back Professor Joseph, and she can speak to our final image. I know someone she mentored over the years. Recently received his doctorate. You've had the opportunity to hood him, so I want you to be able to speak to.
Thank you, Josh. So one of the most exciting, most rewarding moments in the life of a graduate student is, of course, this moment of culmination. And so you can see here, Dr. Marcus Johnson last Tuesday being hooded by me. And so the tradition, for those of you all who don't know, is the faculty member who advises the student places this ceremonial hood on top of these very grand robes here. And I am so thrilled to have been able to work with Dr. Johnson these last 7 years and to see him really produce incredible scholarship. He is a phenomenal teacher and an incredible human being. And we're so proud of him as he continues to bring his communication and difference work to every space that he is, but in particular to the University of Washington's Foster School of Business. He is an assistant teaching professor there. And he also is a DEI community outreach and engagement administrator for the city of Bellevue. So congratulations, Marcus. We are all so proud of you. Well, thank you so much for joining us here for our wrap up. We apologize for some of our hiccups with tech today, but everyone knows how that goes. And I wanted to end by giving a special thanks to this team right here, especially to Josh Griffin, who makes everything happen and run so smoothly, directs us and guides us in 1,000 different ways. And to Julie Feng, who with her co-research assistant, Jazz Moultrie, brought the energy, brought research, brought all of their brilliance to all of our projects here. So thank you so much, Julie and Jazz. And Dr. Carmen Gonzalez, who has been pushing us ahead with this incredible HEAL project that we are so thrilled to be launching and is in charge of our research opportunities as well. And then finally, thank you to Jacqueline for reinvigorating our space for undergraduates to have that life, to have you all, as you said, go in there and occupy and take up the space, because this space is meant for you. It's meant for us. And indeed, that's what the CCDE is about. It's about recreating academic spaces for all of us. So thank you so much. We hope to see you hiking over the summer and at one of our programs in the school year. Bye, everybody.